Hello and welcome back to the channel and back to Car Dealer Simulator on the PS5. I've been kind of jumping between two games at the moment, which you probably see on the channel, and that's Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which is a lot more involved than this, so it requires a lot more effort, but it is an amazing game. There's just a lot of content there to explore. So this one is my kind of almost like break game, for want of a better phrase. So when I want something that's a little easier on the old grey matter, then this is a nice one to pick up. So I thought I'd jump back in with some commentary, because I did some just play along type things, content even, and so I'm back with a bit of narration because we've progressed a little bit further. So the game as a whole, if you're not familiar with it, I have done a review video. I did a kind of updated first impressions, if you like, and the core game mechanic is that we are going to want to go and purchase vehicles. So we've got one on our heads-up display there, and we've got a visual indicator of how far away that is. We're then going to go and try and barter that price down. We're going to probably give it a little bit of a wash, maybe do some body work, nothing too strenuous, so that we can flip it fairly quickly and increase our dollars. So we're currently at $12,431. We have reputation level 5. Things that we've upgraded so far are our office here. So early on into the playthrough, we were able to name our dealership, our office. I'm not sure what it actually adds in terms of gameplay, but it just makes it a little bit more pleasing. So the kind of haggling and the sales don't happen in the office here, they happen out on the forecourt. But we have our state-of-the-art PC here, where we've got some of our other kind of game mechanics. So this is where we're going to buy and sell vehicles. So once we've clicked onto our PC, we can use the left thumbstick to go through the different options. So the home page, if you like, is going to be vehicles that are for sale. You can also, which is a nice little touch, you can use these filters to narrow that down. And there's a pretty extensive collection of vehicles. So rather than it being kind of 5-6 different vehicles, there's different ranges, which I've gone through in a previous video. So I don't want to get too sidetracked with this one. The other part of it is going to be where we sell vehicles via your ads. And this will automatically, we don't have any cars at the moment, this will automatically bring up the cars that you've parked out there on your forecourt. So we start out with 4 spaces for vehicles. Once we've parked the vehicle in there, there'll be a visual cue that turns green. That means that it's recognised as being on there. We use our radial wheel to take some photographs for the advertisement, and there'll be some visual cues around the vehicle to make sure you've captured all the angles. You then list it as we saw on the PC there, and these are our potential customers currently wandering around a very empty yard. Because I'm still kind of quite early into the gameplay loop, I suppose. So we start out with this tow truck. I have restored this a bit actually, because we were largely making our purchases as close to the dealership as possible, so that we didn't have to then spend money on petrol, and I wasn't very good at towing cars with the dolly here. So you do start out with that truck, although it's beat up from the outset. You do get this dolly from the outset to go and collect vehicles, because there are a combination of drivable and non-drivable vehicles. So for now, this point through the playthrough, I've stayed away largely from mechanical stuff, but that is there. So you've got a couple of things. You've got your car wash area over here, where we start out with foam and water just to give the cars a quick wash. And so if you want to turn things around quite quickly, then you can filter the car options for things that are in good mechanical order and excellent visual condition. What that basically means is that you don't have to do anything much with the bodywork, so you can just give it a wash, a foam. There's also an odometer which comes I don't know, about 2-3 hours into the gameplay, depending on how quickly you go through the reputation levels, I suppose. But that means that you can also reduce the mileage on the car and so increase its value. Obviously, we wouldn't want to do that in real life. It's highly illegal. This is one of our upgrades. We've upgraded from our basic body workshop to this one, and that's something that I would aim for quite quickly, because you do get the starting tools, so you will get, it's kind of a 4-stage process, is that we're going to use the grinder to take the metalwork back to paint. We're then going to fill it with some putty. We're going to sand that back to a decent finish, and lastly we're going to spray the car. So there are some visual cues again on there. We can press the down directional button so that we can see any areas we've missed, a little bit like Power Wash Simulator. We've got a new email there. Oh, and it's a timed one actually. Urgent, buy the car. We've only got 5 minutes. Kind of look at that in just a second. That can be a little bit more time consuming, so in real time washing a car probably takes 5-10 minutes. Bodywork probably more like 15-20 per vehicle, depending on how accurate you are. And then the only mechanical work we've done so far is to look for holes on exhaust pipes, and that was part of the tutorial. So that was a kind of car schematic where you spray the part that's highlighted. That will flag up the holes and you can then tape them up. So that's where we are at the moment. So upgrades are office, body shop, currently working towards getting $15,000 together and more, obviously, so I've got some left for vehicles, to then turn this into a proper kind of jet wash where we can then also wax and polish vehicles and increase the value even further. These bits here, there's our main office. We have, I'm not sure that there's anything in the storage actually. So what's been happening is, as we've gone through the game, it's been saying there's a new tool available for you, and that will then be highlighted in orange within the particular room that you're in. So we can start a new day here via sleeping. There's not really any need to do that. You can work throughout the night, should you so wish. We haven't got any kind of stamina or health things to manage. We don't really even need to close the dealership either. I mean, unless I've got that wrong. If I have, then please do put that in the comments. But I'm not aware that customers coming along and us not having any vehicles whilst we're open affects the reputation. So I've largely just been leaving it open all day. But we can open and close it via that sign. Our upgrades are available via the laptop here. Or I keep saying laptop and it's clearly not. It's a very old PC. And as with most simulator games, you're going to want a combination of reputation and hard cash to be able to upgrade that. So that's what we're working towards at the moment. Let's have a look what this message was. We've got an exclusive deal. Don't keep me waiting. So Sam Shaw says that there's a wreck in the southern part of Winston Springs. So the wrecks, the way this works is that well, it is as it sounds, there are wrecks dotted around the map and you'll get a kind of broad clue as to where they are. They won't be drivable, so you will need your tow truck, and you can either take it on as a project, and quite a big one because almost all of the parts are missing from it, or you can take it to the scrapyard for some easy cash. So a lot there that we've caught up on. We now need to focus on making a bit of money. So let's go and get this vehicle first. What I'd been doing up to now is getting vehicles that are drivable and in excellent condition. Let's give them a quick wash and flip them. There's some money to be made there, but as you can imagine, not big money. So I'm going to go and get a more expensive car. and see what kind of profit we can make on that. And as we go there, you can see I'm able to go on foot. As I've mentioned in previous videos, it's quite an impressive kind of world environment. It's really detailed for a kind of mid-priced simulator game. So I think the price was $18.99. There's no sales on at the moment because it only released in February. And as I've covered in my review, I do think it's worth the asking price. There's certainly a number of hours of gameplay. Potentially it's endless because you can just keep flipping the vehicles. You can also, once you've got enough cash, restore vehicles and add them to your own collection, and that's kind of done via trophies. I haven't got any at the moment because everything that I buy I need to then sell to make some money. So he's going to tell me what the list price is. It's 9,300. Again, don't know whether this is right or wrong. Do please correct me if so. Just add it to the comments. I don't believe lowballing offers affects your reputation. They do kind of laugh you away almost, but let's just put 8,000 in.
Nah, my dude, that's a terrible price, man. Nah.
Yeah, so he's clearly not happy. We know that, but he's not kind of laughed us away. I can't. The reputation bar doesn't seem to have gone down. Let's see if we can get 8.5. So, top tip here: it is easy to accidentally press the wrong button. If you press X and make an offer, you'll make the same offer, and you will lose one of your chances. So you can see there in the middle of the screen, you got a little bit of dialogue. You got accept, reject, counter offer, and we got the number of chances that we have left. Also, if you accidentally press square, you will pay the price that he's asking. And yes, I have done that myself. So we said 8.5.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
8.6 for that price. I'm going to go ahead and accept it.
Alright, partner. That's the good deal.
That's a good deal, partner. You know what? Maybe I could check wash your house for a few quid. Go there. Okay, let's get this little beauty back to the workshop. So we can cycle through views with the right thumbstick. I don't know why we've got that point of interest on the map. Is that because I'm going to go to third person view? That might be that abandoned vehicle. So yeah, we can pick the abandoned vehicle up and we can tow it to the scrapyard, and it's all profit because obviously we're not paid anything for it. Go straight down the street here. If that is the heads-up display for that one, no, it's for the office because we've got that limited time offer. So there's someone that's contacted us saying they've got a vehicle for sale. We'll sell it at, I think it's about 15,000, and we don't have 15,000. Okay, so you'll see that it'll turn green once we're on the right place. And we can either grab it from here, or we can use our R1 button to bring up the different options there. So you can see we've currently got some foam spray, we got a jet wash, we have a car scanner, which is quite useful. So if you use that and press your square button, then it will show you the car condition. So 60% drivable is actually pretty decent in this game. There's nothing that's completely gone. We've got no exhaust holes on there. Exhaust is in fairly decent condition. Engine is actually good. bodywork's at 100%, so we don't need to do anything with that. And then the summary will tell us how much we paid for the vehicle. So 8,619 is what we got it for. The estimated cost before we've done anything to it is 9,150, and we're obviously going to try and make some improvements with washing. We can't yet polish because we don't have the car wash, but let's see what it's worth after we've done those bits. And we're also gonna, which I know is a bit shady, is we're gonna shave some miles off. So the foam and the jet wash is pretty forgiving, as you can see. We can go along at a pretty decent pace. I did change the settings, so I adjusted the controller sensitivity just to make this a little bit easier to control. So we can do nice satisfying sweeps along the bodywork like that. So this is only the second van that I've bought. What I've been doing is buying kind of £2,000 and £3,000 vehicles, and I'd gone from doing what we're doing here and just giving them a wash and a clean to a little bit of body work. Now that we've upgraded the workshop, the tools are a lot more effective. It was quite time consuming with the starter tools, I've got to say, but then you would expect that. That's the whole purpose of developing your business, is that it gets more efficient over time. We got our little progress bar down there. It will tell us the steps of what we need to do. So that's up on the top left there. Once we've reached a decent level of coverage, oh, we didn't even do the front, that's why. Once we've reached a decent level of coverage, it will auto complete the next bit, and we'll get an audio cue just like that to tell us. Okay, then we're going to spray it. Same principle. Nice little water effect there. So it does feel like there's a little bit more love that's gone into this game than the generic simulators. And what I mean by that is that there are varying levels of simulator, and it does seem to be that if there's a fairly decent one scheduled for release, then there's some kind of PC ports. It's obviously got the whole Steam library there, and it is of course all subjective in that you don't necessarily want to be too worried about the graphics in the environment if you just want a kind of pick up and play repetitive simulator. We're not expecting huge open world games, but this has got a kind of really well populated area outside. So this is a Garage Monkeys game. It looks like they've got some billboards around this environment advertising some upcoming games, which will be a car wash simulator and I think a dealership simulator as well. I did have a little look online to see what that was all about, and I suppose it's kind of a similar arc to this in that people will... It's a bit more in depth than just hiring out a car. You'll have to visually check it when it comes back to make sure it's not damaged. Do a bit of a clean-up job. So yeah, a little bit more in depth than just kind of negotiating prices. So the way the odometer works is you can see we've got our mileage there in the middle of the speedo. We've got 183,789 miles. It's done a few. We can move the blue marker across. Obviously, if we try and take 100,000 off, that's not like it. It's going to be pretty obvious. So you go down the clock there, and you can hold your X button, and there's a nice bit of haptic feedback in that. The more you try and do this, there'll be some resistance, and what you want to try and do is ideally keep it in the green bar down there at the bottom. If you go over to yellow slightly, it's not too bad. If you go to red, then it'll be obvious that it's been clocked. So rather than going straight for the big mileage, you can see that I'm just rolling back the gears there. And just a heads up that it can sometimes, once you start feeling that resistance, it can go fairly quickly from low in the green to the yellow. So you see the needle moving a lot faster now. So we, just by tapping the X button there, took it halfway through yellow. So we'll probably just about get away with that one. But it does, it's just a heads up there that once it starts getting to be sensitive, be really careful. You've got a nice day and night cycle, should I say. And customers will come through trading hours, as you'd expect. We're now at 8 PM, so we're not going to be selling any vehicles at this point. It's green now. If it's not green, then it won't be recognised as being on your yard when you come to list it. So we're gonna, well, let's scan it first. Scan it. Scan the vehicle. So obviously we've not improved any of the car's condition because we didn't really do anything to it, but we did, just by washing it and clocking it there, we've added $1,356, and actually we're going to then list this for more than the market price. So the market value is $9,975. So let's take some pictures and see the visual cues there. Once we've clicked that, then we'll get a nice picture of that side. What I was going to do in this video as well, or maybe off camera, is there are some timed events where a competitor comes and tries to either, well, sabotage you, basically dirty your vehicles or try and break them. So whilst I'm thinking of that, let's just go to the settings. So rival event, we can toggle that off. So all it really means is that you'll create you an extra bit of work and you have to chase him off your premises. So I suppose it's a way to remove violence if you don't want that in your video games. I mean, this isn't, don't get me wrong, it's not Grand Theft Auto, we're not going and carjacking people or anything like that. It's a more genteel kind of city. Okay, so let's get this listed. I'm going to use we can either use the mouse there, or we can use R1 and L1 to go through the different options. If we click select car, you can see there that it will bring up what's in our inventory. We can add our lovely pictures. Look at that when in the sunset there. We've got technical condition 60% drivable, and at the moment it's suggesting that we should sell this for $10,538. The competitiveness of the offer, that blue indicator means that we'll get full asking price straight away if we were to list it at that price, but we can eke out a bit more here. So I'm going to put this on for, I'm going to go 11.5 actually, and then we'll see what that does to the bar. So it's in the green. We can afford to wait a little bit. We'll get a few customers during the day. So I'm going to post it, I'm going to list it at that value. Quite happy with that. So the other things that we got available to us, we saw that we got a mailbox. I probably will go and have a look for that wreck at some point. So what it'll do is it will give just a very general kind of, here's where the region that's in. Now that says it's in the southern part of Winston Springs, which I'm guessing is the name of our town. Our map, it's on this one, so we go to our tablet. So we've got a tablet and a PC. Our map it will show points of interest, but it's not going to show where that wreck is. So the southern part could be anywhere really, and we are going to need to go and tow it as well. So because it's now 9:16 p.m, we're not going to be selling any vehicles, so I'm going to look for another one to buy to do another quick flip. But first I'll go through the different options here. So we've seen the mailbox, we've seen the car shop. Upgrades we briefly looked at, where you need a reputation level and an amount of cash to be able to upgrade, and that unlocks different mechanics for you. There is a bank. We will also have some bills to pay as well, so we've got to give Sam a cut because he is the owner, and we've got some utility bills as well. So 176, let's get that taken care of right now. We can also take loans, and as you'd expect, you have to pay back more, and you get a number of days to pay it back. Don't need to do that. Car parts, once we get onto the mechanical side of things, which I've not done at all, then there will be the need to replace some parts. So you can get them from the shop. From the shop, they're going to be brand new. The condition is going to be 100%. If you want to collect trophy cars, then all of the cars need to be fully restored 200%. All the component parts, the visual bits, all of that. And we'll come on to that actually in just a minute, and you'll see just how many there are on there, so you can get a feel for what it's going to take to collect all the trophies. If you want to save yourself some money, you can then go to the scrapyard and you can buy used parts at different levels of health, for want of a better phrase, or in better condition. It's probably more relevant to cars than health. So we've got car parts there, and then we've got other. So I've not actually used any of these, but it gives us a bit of an indication of what we can come to expect. So we already had to buy the exhaust repair tape. We haven't bought the canister. I've not run out of petrol yet because I've been essentially going and collecting vehicles on foot, and I've not actually seen the plate repair mechanic yet. And then we've got fuses. Brand customization. This is where we can change how our dealership looks, which is quite a nice little option. So we can cycle round it like that with the right thumbstick. We got options for typography, decoration, kind of how much it sticks out on the sign there, whether it's beveled, and some colour options as well. Employees, we don't currently have any, but I would very much like to. We can't hire them, can we, at the moment? No, I think we need to unlock an upgrade to be able to do that. But that would be really good because the bodywork type stuff is quite time consuming. The mechanical stuff, I've only done, as I say, the exhaust repair, but that was quite involved as well. So it'd be good to have some staff to be able to do that and increase our profits. That's something to work towards. Vehicles. So these are the vehicles that we currently have. So that is the car that we've got up for sale. That is the truck that we start with, the tow dolly, and we've got a radio. I've currently got the music turned off. Tutorials, that's nice that you got them all there. So some of the God, my mind went blank then. Some of the simulator games don't give the best tutorials. And so, for example, Car Mechanic Simulator is a really good game, and you get hundreds of hours out of it, but there is no tutorial at all. This one does a really good job of taking you through that, and you've got easy access to them. If you've not heard of Car Mechanic Simulator, do have a look. Actually, it's one of my better performing videos, the kind of beginner's guide, where I've had some good feedback on that, because as with most games, if they don't immediately grab you and they look too complicated, it's easy to put them down and move on to something else, and that you'd miss out on a good game there. So thankfully, no such worries here. The tutorial takes you along at a very nice pace. And then last but not least, the trophy haul. So as you can see, within each of these kind of categories, we got 3 types of vehicle. So if we go onto the Apex Motors Vanguard, you got 3 different ones there. Oh, they look... I've got to get myself one of those. I've not seen one of those, actually. Nardina Ignis. Outrider. There's some pretty good... Some pretty nifty vehicles here. Look at that one. Cavallaro. And we got our hatchbacks. We got some Jeep type things. We got pickups. We're still going. Phantom Thunders. Then we got... You'd need to be of a certain age to understand this reference, but National Lampoon's Vacation, they had these kind of station wagon vehicles. That bit more sporty. Oh, that's a nice one as well. So I'm very much looking forward to having some of these trophy cars. So you can just see the depth of different vehicles that are in the game. And so, as I mentioned earlier, in order for these to become trophies, you need to have them at 100% in all areas. You then, rather than having kind of a garage, you take them to the scrapyard, and it turns them into trophies. I've not had a look actually yet where that might appear, because there was a trophy board it mentioned, which doesn't seem to be in our office. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked here. Let's get ourselves a cheap vehicle. We got £3,500 or dollars to play with, and I'll go and get that, and then we'll end this particular video there, and I'll pick up again in another one, just to keep the videos to a decent kind of length. So I always like to put on that they're at least drivable, and visual condition, I'm not sure we're going to get one in excellent for that kind of asking price. So you can't go... So the way this works actually is that once you have found the vehicle that you want to go and collect, you schedule a meeting. Now, you can't do that unless you've got at least the asking price. So if you think, well, actually, they've got it listed, say this one, at 5.4, and I could probably get it for 3.6. Well, you can't actually arrange the appointment unless you've got at least the asking price that they're asking for. So everything there is a little bit out of my price range. Kind of expected that. We're going to have to lower our expectations on the visual condition. So we're going to be needing to do a bit of body work here, which is to be expected. Those UMXs usually sell quite well. It's got a fair old number of miles on there, but that's why the price is so low. The NGD pulses sell well. We don't have the cash for that. Actually, that's pretty much... It looks like only this one is going to be within our price range. So it's 267 meters away, but I'm going to go on foot. So you can see the night time now. Nice little skybox there. You got the traffic. We got less pedestrians now because of the time. It's currently 5 to 1 in the morning. Looks like it's just had a very thoughtful mood, just maybe come out of the bar or something. So I think there are, I mean, obviously not all of these are buildings that you can go into, but you probably saw on the map that there was a couple of points of interest, and one of those was a bar. So I think, and you can hear some, that's quite nice. You got that ambient noise in the background to make it sound populated as well. Sorry, so yes, I think the main purpose is that you can buy candies or whatnot. Actually, whilst we're here, when in Rome. So Roger's Bar, we've got a trophy there for finding it. I don't have the music on in the background now, so that's why it might look a bit odd that they're grooving on the dance floor there. We've got a pool table, got a jukebox, nice bit of ambient noise there. Let's see what we can get from Roger. So you can get a jukebox token. So essentially the reason you would need to buy bags of candies or cigarette packs is for negotiation. So I'm going to buy one box of candies. So we get 3 chances to negotiate the price. We can kind of sweeten the deal by offering them a candy. So we'll get an extra chance essentially. So for $10 worth picking up. We will have petrol stations on the map as well. A bit dodgy that we're meeting someone in what looks like an abandoned hotel to purchase the car. So we got the negotiation price, but we can also use the scanner before we start negotiations. And that will tell us the car's condition. So 69% is actually pretty decent, again, in this game. So 3,810 is what it's listed at the moment. So let's go ahead and see what we can get this for. So 3,810 we saw was the recommended retail price. So even if we bought it at 3.2, we'll make some money. But as always, I think we can get this for cheaper. And I'm going to go 2.7. So 2.9 we're saying. We're not too far adrift. I'm just going to push it up to 2.8. Just to show the negotiation. Wants an extra $13. I think we can do that. There we go. Pleasure doing business with you. Keep out. What a lovely home you have. Okay, so this little beauty is now ours. So we're going to probably have to do a little bit of body work on this one. As we saw, it's not in... We weren't going to get one in excellent condition for the amount of dollars we had. And this one motors, as you can see, it goes pretty quick. So I'll just park this up ready for its wash, and then we'll pick up again in the next video. I am currently trying to get myself to 50 subscribers so that I can do some live streaming. If you could help me out on that journey, I would really appreciate it if you just take a second to hit that subscribe button. It is free, and it would really help, because then I can kind of expand into other games as well, such as Microsoft Flight Simulator, because it doesn't really lend itself to the episodes without some editing. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.